will be coming? No. And we can remove the nameplate.
No,
Yes,
he's
we can.
coming.
No, he's
They
not
said
coming.
Huh?
Said he is not coming.
Oh, he said he's not coming. Then
So we can remove the name.
Yeah,
केशव आप नेमप्लेट में सारे बम को
just
हटा
shift
दीजिए.
here
Yeah.
so that
इधर आ
chair
जाइए.
they can
हाँ जी,
Okay,
हाँ
okay.
जी.
remove.
ये वाला निकाल दो.
Oh,
थोड़ा
ऊपर उस तरफ. Oh, sorry.
Welcome, friends, this afternoon to another very interesting press conference from with the Indian Panorama jury. Today we have with us jury members from both feature as well as non-feature film categories. Madam Bijay Jena and Major Ravi is from the feature film categories, and Mr. Makarant Brahme and Sunju Bachaspati Myum from the non-feature category. So without giving any lengthy introductions, I would like to hand over the mic to the experts and let them explain how they went about the journey of selecting films for the Indian Panorama in both the feature and the non-feature categories, which will be followed by your question answer session.
Do we start?
Yes,
Yeah.
please start.
Feature film.
Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It was really, it was not an easy task for us. Why? Because 360 odd films coming, and we had 4 jury section in the initial. Then we were given a certain lot of films, and out of that we selected. We were given the task that at least maximum you can go for 14 films out of this 50-60 films, and certain panels not even got that 14 also. Some panel came out with 10. Why? Because the selection, we had to watch the entire films in a day. We were watching 5 films in an average. So 5 films in an average, reading the subtitle and watching the film, it was not an easy task for us. But still, once we finished that thing, then the selected lots came here. Then the central panel, all the jury members of this 12 plus chairman used to sit and watch all the films which were selected at the last moment, 65 films. Out of that, we were told to select maximum we can go up to 25 plus 1 film which is already got the national award and that is already selected. But this 25 also, they said that if the quality is not good, don't go and try to reach this 25. So, but still, this time we were very lucky that we got that 25 films out of the central panel, and there also, last moment we had to go for a tough voting for 3 films because it has come to that level. Out of these 3 films, we had to take 1 film to reach this 24. Plus, Bhai Bajrangi was already done for this thing because of this box office. There is a slot for this thing, which is a very popular film. So only this film had come to us. So it was selected for this thing. So that is a way we selected this thing. And another thing I would like to inform you that there was no such hidden result or something like that. Because all the jury members, plus the director, deputy director, and the chairman, we all sat together and did the voting for all the films. So there was nothing that my voting is like this and this paper goes there and finally some hierarchy happens and how many, nothing was there. All the 12 members plus chairman, plus this 2 director and all this thing, they were noting it. So it was a unanimous decision of taking this 24 films without any problems. Last 3 films, Bijay, if you remember,
Yes,
3 films,
absolutely.
we had a problem. Because 3 films have got similar votings. Then we had to redo the whole thing and finally we had to take 1 film out of that thing. So 24 films were selected like that. So we are all very happy that it was done in a very open manner. So that's how we came to this 27 days marathon exercise of watching all these films and coming to this stage. Now when we see opening film, even this, if you yesterday's opening film was this English man who found infinity. That has come from the foreign this thing. Actually, we selected one from Indian side also. One Indian film was there, Ramanujam. But then there was a problem. This Ramanujam was sent in Tamil last year, and this time it was in English. So we had to outrightly say that you cannot do this thing. 1 year you send it in Tamil, second year you send it in English, so we'll not accept it. It was in our jury and we strongly went by the rules and we rejected that film. Otherwise, it was a good film, but then we had to do all this thing. And we are very happy that what we got and people are responding to this thing. This is how this marathon race was happening. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. I mean, whatever it is, we tried to select the maximum good films in all the languages. It is not that this language there is no film, that language. No, we selected good films. That's how there is no language participation or anything. Unanimously, whatever the films were good, it was taken in.
Yeah, what I wanted to just say that when we are looking at Indian Panorama and we are going to showcase this for the international audience, we have to keep in mind the films should be of international standard. Because when we are judging for national awards, it's different ballgame altogether, because in national awards, we are only judging films in the context of our country. But here we had to see and select films which have, appeal, or which have the standard, the technical excellence of international cinema. And this year, for the first time, they had slotted 5 films from the commercial popular cinema. And Film Federation was supposed to send 10 films, and we were supposed to choose 5 films, but unfortunately they only sent 1 film, that is Bajrangi Bhaijaan, and we had to select that. But what we have suggested this year, that from next year the popular cinema 5 films should be selected by the Film Federation body, because they are the right people who will understand the parameters of the popular cinema, and they can judge. They would know about the commercial success and the trade reports, so they can select 5 films and then give it to us. And we should also brand P in the bracket, because when the international festival selectors, other critics, they come to Goa and they see these films, they should not confuse the other 20 films which have international standard with this popular cinema. So generally everywhere in the world, it's branded, like you say W, world cinema, you say debut film. So when it's mentioned that, then we look at it in a different way. So that is the thing. And we, I think from next year we'll have, so nobody would have any problem that we have 5 films from the popular film cinema, and we have 20 films from all over the world, and it is not from any language. It is the excellence of cinema. It's not necessarily that we have to include Punjabi or we have to include Telugu. It's not like that. So if you see the titles, there could be more films. This year we have 7 Bengali films, which is for the first time. Earlier we used to have the highest number was coming from Malayalam, but this year we have 7 Bengali films. That means Bengal cinema has evolved, and has reached that stage of storytelling with technical excellence, which we can showcase outside to the foreign audience here in the Goa Film Festival.
One more thing, this year the government announced 2 extra awards. That is, one is the Centenary Award and one is the UNICEF Award. So this is, out of this 24 films, we are supposed to select these 2 films and send it abroad, and they will be selecting 1 film. So this year we got 1 Hindi film and 1 Malayalam film. We send it abroad, and this new category has been approved by the government this year onwards. So next year,
so actually we have to send it to Paris to
Paris
UNESCO. It's a UNESCO Peace Award. So for that we have recommended Nanak Shah Fakir and your
this one,
the endosulfan
Endosulfan
film Valia by Dr.
Valiya
Biju.
Chiragulla Pakshigal.
So which has got a very, very strong message that I don't know if you all have heard about this film of Dr. Biju.
Valiya Chiragulla Pakshigal.
That's a Malayalam film. and
I'll be very good at it.
yeah. it has some strong
You got it, you know?
message.
Ma'am?
Valia, okay.
വലിയ ചിറകുള്ള പക്ഷികൾ. You can, yeah, he's here.
Yeah. And
Nanak
Nanak
Shah
Shah Fakir,
Fakir.
which is nothing about religion, it's about love, compassion, and how Nanak Shah, after the Mughal, invasion by Babur's massacre, how still he was so strongly, saddened by that. So he suggests that we have to love. We have to just only by love and compassion we can win. He never taught any religion. So that's, I think, is a fantastic film for UNESCO peace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Vijaya. Thank you, Major Ravi, for throwing interesting light on the selection process. Now we come to the non-feature film category. So,
Good
Mr.
afternoon, everybody. We have around 146 films this time in non-feature category. However, I must mention here that we have, as a jury members, have recommended ministry that under non-feature category, there are fiction and non-fiction films are mixed up together. So we have strongly recommended that already Indian documentaries are under a lot of pressure for the space in the cinema. So with fiction and non-fiction coming together under one section, we were left with no choice to select best films, and then there are fiction films also were competing with the non-fiction films. Though non-fiction films need to be judged in a different parameter and the fiction is a different, because in fiction category you have much more controlled when you are making a cinema, because your script is ready, everything is ready, and you can take a decision how you wish to make the film. However, in documentary section, now there are a couple of films I can tell you that they were in making for 7 years. What was that name, Sunzu? Breaking Free. It is about the LGBT section of the society, and that film was in making of 7 years. Now the kind of efforts people are putting in to make such films, I think they need a space. So that is one point. The other point is, this time we found that there were many biographical films, and this year you will find almost there are 5 biographical films in non-feature category mein, where there is a Amar Katha story of Binodini, then Benegal's new cinema, the documentary film on Sham Benegal, then there is a Even Red Can Be Sad. It's by Amit Datta, very beautiful film on writer and painter Mr. Ram Kumar. So many films are there, and luckily I think this time what we have noticed is a number of films which have got selected in the non-feature category are majorly from eastern part of our country, that is Bengal and Northeast. Mr. Sunzu is here from Northeast only, and he will vouch for that. There are many good films and the very issue-based documentaries we have got from Northeast section. So that is a welcome thing. But unfortunately, I have to say that we could not get any good cinema in this category from Tamil and Telugu section, not even Malayalam. There is only one Malayalam film, am I right? Yeah, there is only one Malayalam film, that is Orai Udal. Otherwise, from South section, we were really disappointed that there were no good films coming up. And as Major Ravi and Jayaji has said, that it is the quality of the film which was more important than giving a regional representation, and that was certainly not our agenda. So that's a good point, one. Now here also we have made 2 groups, because we were total 7 jury members including chairperson, and 50% films were watched by 2 groups, Group A and Group B, and then almost 33% of that films were shortlisted And finally, the entire jury has seen more than, I think, 55, 60 films. Yeah, 60 films were seen, and out of that, only 20 films were selected. One film, obviously, being a national award winner film, that is Tender is the Sight, that was automatically getting an entry. So total are 21 films out of this Indian Panorama. And I must say that three films from Film and Television Institute of India are very well made, and I must make a special mention for the students who have made this film. Out of this one, Kamakshi film is already making great, it is getting good reviews, and it has been in international circuit. It was in Berlin Film Festival and some other film festivals has gone. And there is another film called Seek and Hide, and there is one more film, Sada Bahar Brass Band. That's the only Marathi film in this section. So these three films we must appreciate, done by Film and Television Institute students, but extremely professionally well made films. So this is the composition of Indian Panorama non-feature section.
So,
Yes, Sanju?
Mr. Shindu,
Yeah.
would you like to throw some more light on the films from the eastern sector, northeast and eastern?
Actually, there were a lot of films from the northeast, well, like Assam and Manipur, and even from Nagaland. But unfortunately, if you don't make the cut, then it doesn't get featured. But there are one film from Assam made by a Bengali filmmaker, and one film from Manipur made by one Manipuri filmmaker, Pavan Haubam. And there's another film from Nagaland, Every Time You Tell a Story, which tells very interestingly the culture and the history of Nagaland. But as a jury, I just want to comment that overall the quality of the films of the Indian Panorama non-feature section was very depressing, because we really had a tough time choosing films, good films. In fact, we had to step down to accommodate these 20 numbers. So, I mean, this is my second time in the jury, and the first time it was in 2012, and that time the quality of works submitted for Indian Panorama was very competitive, very international standard, very technically excellent, and the quality was very up to the mark. But this time I'm a little depressed seeing the Indian standard of non-feature category, and yes, that's why we chose 20. We could choose 20. Actually, we were also told that you don't have to have the numbers. We choose only the good films. We don't have to have 20 numbers. So, but we managed to find 20. So.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shindu. Anything else? Oh, we
No,
should.
I think here I would like to mention one thing, that because of the technological evolution and digital cinema which is coming of age, what Sunzu is said, that there are number of films are increasing. However, I think there will be such kind of a flux initially, because the technology is making filmmaking very easier. So
Absolutely.
people are trying variety of ways to make film, and the budgets are coming down. Even with the mobile phone, people are making films.
Right.
So I think I won't say I'm feeling bad about it. I'm sure the phase will go away, because right now the people are experimenting how to do that, and then the real cinema will again emerge. So I'm an eternal hopeful person. So I'm seeing that new trend coming up with the digital cinema, which is making of cinema much more easier for the young generation.
Yeah,
I think that is one thing.
I think absolutely right. Even in our feature section, we found many films, very low budget films shot on Canon 5D, and so it's if they have somebody has a concept, and they just take this Canon 5D and they just shoot a film, and the budget is actually very low. They experiment. So maybe, as he said rightly, that then this new filmmakers, they'll evolve, and maybe I hope in 2-3 years time we'll find good films coming out of these young filmmakers shot on digital. Any questions?
Yes,
Yeah.
so now we open the house for questions, but one very important instruction, since this press conference is being live streamed on YouTube, it is a must to ask questions in the mic, and also please introduce yourself before asking the question. So, who would like to ask a question here? Just press. Just a second, please be with us. This was working.
आप सभी का स्वागत है 46 इंटरनेशनल फिल्म फेस्टिवल में। मेरा नाम प्रवीण मराठे है और मैं प्राइम मीडिया से हूँ एज अ वीडियो जर्नलिस्ट। बेसिकली मेरा एक ही सवाल है कि गोवा में जो फिल्म्स होते हैं, मतलब गोवा के लोग जो फिल्म्स बनाते हैं, तो आप में से कोई भी एक बताए कि उनके बारे में आपकी क्या राय है, मतलब गोवन फिल्म्स कहाँ होनी चाहिए, और क्या हम, आई एम अ गोवन, तो क्या हम कहीं पे कम पड़ रहे हैं या कुछ ऐसा है?
आपका सवाल तो हम दोनों उसका आंसर कर लेंगे। वाई? बिकॉज this time only one Konkani film came. That was only a film which came, and it had the standard which we couldn't believe it, and we unanimously selected that film. Even we were trying to get that film as that Goan film as a opening film, but then we said that every year Goa has got the film festival, so it doesn't have to. But we all appreciate your effort, and that film has been appreciated very well. When you watch the film, then you will not get disappointed, because we all salute you for that film. And Jay also got something.
Yeah, this Konkani film, of course, is made by all Goans. It's based on a true story, and how the Goan musicians in the 50s and 60s came to Bombay and worked. And in fact, they contributed to the Indian film industry, Hindi film industry. There's so many musicians like Chick Chocolate. They sold their tunes to Shankar Jaikishan and Lakshmikant parallel, but they were given money, but they were not given titles. So later on, I believe, when Moraji Desai came, and there was a ban on the bars and nightclubs, so they were out of business. And this film is made by a very popular ad filmmaker, but who is settled in Bombay. And this is a very good film, but there have been some other films made by Bombay filmmakers like Barefoot in Goa, and that was a very interesting film. And I think, Goa culture is very rich. In fact, I'm making a movie on Goa liberation set in 1950s with Hollywood stars and European stars, and it's a big film and big dream. So in 2-3 years time I would be able to do it. And Goa has immense you have that cultural synthesis, which that's where your culture is very very rich. So we have to still make more films and more stories on Goa.
And mind you, it was not a low budget film, what we saw. It's a very high budgeted film,
Yeah.
spend a lot of money, and the quality you can see it in that.
Music was fabulous.
Fabulous things.
music.
And you can really be proud of that film.
Yeah.
So now you'll be very happy,
No, but I'm surprised that in our category, non-feature documentaries, there are hardly any documentaries coming out of Goa. Actually, Goa has such a rich culture, heritage, and everything. And why Goans are not looking at that, documenting their own history and culture and heritage? There are so many subjects coming to my mind which can be made as a documentary films. But please take this as a positive complaint, and I think Goan filmmakers should pay attention more to even documentaries also, not only look at the fiction.
I think you have subsidy.
You have.
You have subsidy. Oh. No, then
So
I
you got to
think
shout.
you should.
You have
You
to
should.
make your voice heard,
Heard.
and I think ministry and state government and everybody should look at that, because
Yeah. For any cultural growth, you need state patronization, like France or Iran. All the films made there. Yeah. Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that because I want to make a film here and I was looking, really for support, like subsidy. France gives 30% subsidy. That's why you must have heard Woody Allen coming and shooting a film in France just to get 30% subsidy. Because we are not making films. We are in the festival. We are looking for artistic films. And if you are making a Bollywood film, you don't need that subsidy of 25 lakhs. But if you are making a feature film or a documentary, you need subsidy. Yeah. Okay. No, that's Brad Roy. Brad Roy, whose film is there. Yeah, we have selected that film. Nacho Ya Kumpasar.
Nacho Kumbachan.
Nacho
And
Kumpasar.
Lakshmikant Shetkar has also won the international award. For
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
What's
No,
the
no,
name?
I think here we were talking about, not talking about the quality of
Quality
Goan
of-
cinema.
But-
We were just saying there are only
Yeah.
fiction films coming because maybe there is a commercial consideration and there is a return. However, no documentation on Goan history or culture
Yeah.
or issues, which is very much feasible. As you suggested that you need as a documentary filmmaker some support.
One of my friend is doing a documentary on Inquisition of Goa, which took place during the Portuguese era.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
but
great.
yeah. It is under production.
Okay.
16th century it is.
So
the
look
topic.
forward to see that
Yeah,
film next year.
No,
We look
whether
forward.
feature or non-feature, you really need state patronization to promote any kind of such good cinema or good whether it is documentary or it is feature. You need support.
Can we
I think let's go for
to
the
the
next.
next question?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
मैं प्रदीप शर्मा ऑल इंडिया रेडियो से मैं कमेंट्री करता हूँ। सर एक बात मैं जानना चाहूँगा कि जो भी ज्यूरी होती है पिछले कुछ सालों के दौरान जो फिल्म्स बन रही हैं उनमें एक कमी नज़र आती है जिस पर शायद किसी का ध्यान नहीं जाता, वो है लैंग्वेज, भाषा। हमारा उच्चारण बहुत ख़राब होता जा रहा है। क्या इस तरफ ध्यान नहीं दिया जाना चाहिए या सिर्फ कमर्शियल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ही हमें सोचना चाहिए? इसका क्या एक मेरे ख्याल फ़र्क पड़ेगा आने वाले वक्त में जो फिल्में बनेंगी, पुरानी फिल्मों के बारे में उनकी राय बनेगी कि वो कितना गलत बोलते थे, उनको शायद कोई जानकारी नहीं
नहीं,
थी।
इसके बारे में मैं बताऊंगा आपको क्योंकि आई हैव बीन फ्रॉम अ थिएटर एंड आई नो हाउ वी यूज टू give importance to the diction, clarity, everything. However, I think we cannot forget the technological innovation and the way even world over the language, all languages are going under lot of changes. Like the way you are writing even or speaking, and these phones and WhatsApp and all that has changed the way you are. How are you? HWRU. Now I don't know. Tomorrow it will happen that people will think, next generation will think that's the spelling. So right from the written form and the spoken form with the younger generation, but I think that's a process of evolution of language or any culture or anything which none of us can stop because it's a very huge process. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll just continue this. Before that, I would like to announce our chairman of feature film jury, Mr. Aribam Sham Sharma, is on the way. He would be here in 5 minutes. So I would like to tell you that in cinema transcends language. It's not theater. It's not literature. It is cinema means it is audio visual. Sometimes there is a film, Bengali film, which didn't have the whole film. It didn't have dialogue. 2-3 years ago, there was a French film called Artist. That the whole film didn't have a dialogue. So cinema is nothing to do with dialogue. If you are making a historical film, then you have to speak in that particular the language which was spoken at that particular point of time. Like we have a Sanskrit film, people are speaking in Sanskrit. Suppose I'm making a film which doesn't read too much of vocalization but body movement and colors. Like cinema is combination of painting, music and storytelling. So in these three art forms should combine to create this cinema. So it's not dependent on language only.
Thank you.
Makran here. Yes. Kumar.
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good. No, my question is to you, Makran, personally.
Yes.
That is last time you met that Rajan Mishra, Sajan Mishra, Pandit entirely shooting at Banaras. So is there any, Makarand, is there any plan like to promote music and culture like that? The way you did it was excellent.
No,
You
I am
have
already, you must have seen in my introduction in a booklet, I have already announced and did a muhurat of my next film on Indian culture and heritage called Babul Mora. And that film is all about the semi-classical, most popular musical form called Tumri. And there are subset of that, Tumri, Hori, Kajri, and that comes from the folk music. And I'm just trying to trace the history of this music right from the temple music era till today, because this Tumri format has gone its ups and downs throughout last many almost 1,000 2,000 years of history. And again, Pandit Rajan Sajan Mishra will be the anchoring this film, and we have a galaxy of music legends from the Indian classical music fraternity who would be participating and trying to explain the entire journey of the semi-classical music.
it will be not only as a biography of the classical singers like those. It is
No,
a
no, no,
mixed
no, no.
one, right?
It's a complete historical journey.
Can I
Yeah,
just,
I think
yes,
let's introduce.
we'd like to extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Arbam Sham Sharma. He is the chairperson of the feature film jury, and he's a doyen of the Indian film industry of international fame. Welcome, Mr. Sham Sharma, and we would like you to first of all give your comments as chairperson of the feature film jury about your experience of selecting the films and how the entire jury went about the process of selecting those films.
Yes, thank you. Uh, we had nearly 230, I think, entries, no? 238 entries, feature films, and to select out of that 25, 25 films, yes, 25 films out of that. And this year, perhaps due to the change of technology, I mean digital technology, the number of films are very much. And this, besides the film producing centers in India, many other states are also producing films in different languages. Perhaps I want to emphasize on this point that Indian films means what? What is the meaning of Indian films? Indian film means, to me, I think you also will all will agree, that the films made in different regions of India in different languages. That is Indian film. So we are having many Indian films this year, and in many different languages, Kashmiri, then Arunachal Pradesh, then Boro language, then Tulu, and so many small, many Konkanis, yes. We had so many different representation of different regions, and we are becoming richer. My point is, Indian films, this production becomes richer and richer every year rather. Next year it might be more than 300. And again, my impression is the young filmmakers in India, they are taking advantage of these technological changes, and they are exploring more, at the same time experimenting more. And we have seen very beautiful films this year. I think from the newcomers means those who are trained in film institutes, and they are making very beautiful films. because they have got, I mean, one thing I want to share with you. I happen to be filmmaker from celluloid era, celluloid. And after changing it to the so-called video, somehow, personally, I felt that we are losing qualities of shots, especially long shots, beautiful long shots we used to have in celluloid era, but in small screen, especially when we are making film for video films for small screen, that was actually totally lost. But this year, I recovered that. Those beautiful shots are coming back. And we have seen many, cameramen working in that area, and beautiful, beautiful shots in many, in many films made by these young filmmakers. And so I am very happy, and I think the future is very bright, and we will be able to produce more and to give more quality films. But one thing, regional, whenever we talk about regional film, in India, perhaps the meaning, I don't know, the national and the regional. When I went out of India in other international film festivals, I'm called Indian filmmaker. But India, perhaps I'm a regional filmmaker. That is the difference, which I don't know why this regional and the national, because regions themselves, they are making India. And this diversity is very important, and we are getting those different beautiful films made by very different, talented, creative artists. Art, after all, film is an art. Only talking about entertainment will not do, I believe. This is my opinion. Yes, please. Yes. Thank you.
That's why I also said Indian film industry, international fame,
Yes, please.
First, my name is Bilal Bhushan Chaturvedi. I am BBC from Indore. I am attending last time so many festivals again and again. I want to say one thing, why we make the difference between the films, this type of films, short films, long films, popular cinema films, are the films are not in category, other categories. I have seen that today also. What is the measurement of you are selecting the films? What is the measurement for selecting? I have seen the Sanskrit film just now. Only 25-30% we are sitting. One of the best film I have seen just now. So what is you made the difference between the films coming and going, these type short films, this is long film, it is a parallel cinema films. So why you make difference in that? Number two, what is the measurement you select the films out of 300, of 250, so you had selected 25 films. What is measurement? And thirdly, the new coming people are coming to India and making the films from Goa and from Himachal Pradesh and from Northeast. So the things are very good, but where the audience to see the films?
Pardon?
Where the audience to see the films?
Why it is not
I have seen the
reaching
Sanskrit film.
theatres?
It is very beautiful film. Only 50% were there in a Panorama opening film.
Yes. I have to note it. So many questions together. May I answer one by one? If you permit me.
Yes, please.
That outside India, you are very right. The difference between the so-called parallel cinema and then art film, it doesn't exist actually. It is our own making. This is our own Indian style of demarcating different types of films. Whether right or wrong, it is happening. And I think, I want to be honest. Because the so-called the so-called regional or the so-called, what is the name of that? Mainstream. Another very interesting name, mainstream films. Because we are given a task of selecting 20 films, 21, rather inclusive of one which won national award. Another 5 films were to be selected from the so-called mainstream films. Mainstream films. This is very important point to be noted. 5. Those films were actually selected by Film Federation of India and Guild. No? Another is Guild. Yes, Cine Guild. And their criteria of selection is box office. According to the collection of box office, they make a list and they recommend to us, out of these 20, 10 each, we have to select 5. Those in the in this panel of selection, and this mainstream and other films. These films are always those films which are invited in many other foreign festivals. I don't know about this mainstream, how many are invited for represented India in other international films like Cannes or Berlin, or I don't know. But so far I know, because my film was presented in Cannes. And the smallest state, Manipur state. And you are right, hardly very few people go for seeing films. But sir, I must tell you, are we making films only for audience? This is very pertinent question. Am I singing songs only for audience? I must sing. I must paint. You can't control on that. Commercial is very different thing, commercial-minded people. Because in Manipur, I think you might have heard Manipuri dance. How many people might be there at the time when they invented Manipuri dance or they created Manipuri dance? Hardly 1,000 people might be there, but they created that. This creation is our fundamental right, I must say. I create, I sing, I paint, these are all things which is a human being, it is given to us. But, sorry, about Indian, when you speak about Indian film, so there is a wrong, I think, a confused idea is there, that only perhaps Hindi film is recognized as Indian film. Sorry, because yes, Hindi is our lingua franca, that's right. And this is most important films, but and those beautiful films are made in Hindi. We have seen this time. Not Bollywood type of film, beautiful Hindi films. Like Masala, I think. Masala, you can see this film, that beautiful film, but it is not Bollywood film. But when you talk about Indian films, you always speak about Bollywood films. This is very, very unfortunate and unkind to us, I must say, very unkind to us. Those who make small films and who want to express themselves, to experiment themselves. And which is possible now because this digital technology is there. We are able to do that. In Manipur, there are hardly, at the time when I made film, there are hardly 4 cinema houses. But I made, imagining theme I made, and it was given a Grand Prix at Nantes in 1981, the first time in India. So what? Because many people outside India appreciated that. And then my next film, Ishan, went to Cannes, selecting, official selection. No, my point is India having so much different types of culture and traditions, beautiful. And just like this year we are having this Sanskrit film, isn't it? Yes, it is something great, I must say, making a film in Sanskrit. But you will say, is it Indian or regional? Because if you think only Hindi films are Indian films, then Sanskrit perhaps also is a regional film. Or international means Indian English film. You may say that perhaps the gentleman who must have visited so many places in many international film festivals, they never think in this way. But we in India, we are thinking in this way. What to do about this, sir? This is a question opening to you. You reply. You give us the reply. Because we are always neglected. These small films, but they are films which represent India. The films which are invited by people outside India, recognized by people outside India, called Indian films, but regional films in India. And a B class prizes are given to this type of films. B class. Then what to do? Sorry, am I giving a lecture?
I think, sir, I want to just
I become emotional.
Yeah.
Emotional, so sorry.
I will interact, Mr. Sharma. 1 minute.
Yeah.
The things you expressed yourself, it is individual feelings that, as you said, that audience views, audience opinions, audience appreciation, it's very much required. As you said, that we perform for ourselves, or satisfy ourselves. Is it true? I don't think. And you need to say that how to improve this, that to attract more audience and more. I think so.
Yes.
Because
Thank you. That might be your opinion.
Commercial
Thank
angle
you.
it is different.
Thank you.
One minute. I just want to say something. I have a suggestion which I had given last year to our INB minister, Mr. Arun Jaitley, that such films like his film and my film, which is taught in the University of Iran, has not ever been shown anywhere in this country excepting television, Doordarshan. So I proposed to Mr. Arun Jaitley, INB minister, that every state has got a theatre. Like you have got ESG, Calcutta has Nandan, Siri Fort in Delhi has, the theatre is most of the time 9 months, empty. So in such films, like Nandan does, we should have these regional films which have been abroad and appreciated abroad, be released there by the government and share 50-50. And I have been trying to propose this concept to the INB ministry since last 20 years, but I have not been successful. And I hope people write about it. And now since you have all the social media, if anybody can write about and suggest this happens because unless a government patronizes artists, like Omar Khayyam could write poems and gaze at the stars because the emperor of Persia offered him a particular amount of money every year. So why not? And France does this. France gives a grant and they have to make movies. They select and it's a grant. It's against the distribution rights. It's not a loan. But we do not have, such things, and it's in a very minuscule level. The NFDC is there, but again, it's forget about the production. But if we have produced these films, which you are saying that you want to see such films, then you have to appeal to the ministry to run these films in state-owned theaters like Bombay Ravindra Bharati or here ESG. You must have on regular basis. On commercial basis, you don't charge entertainment tax, so the ticket price is very low. So you get say 50 rupees, you think it's money's worth, because you want to pay 200 rupees for a Bollywood film because you want to have 5 songs and 5 fights. But when you want to see my film or his film, I think you can afford 50 rupees, and that money could be divided between the government, the theatre, which owns the theatre, and the small filmmakers like us who appreciated abroad, but we never get to release the film.
I think in short, what we are lacking is the cinema watching culture. That needs to be propagated, and media can play a very good role in this, which I would, please forgive me, but I must put it bluntly, that under the influence of Bollywood, media is also not giving proper representation to the good cinema which is being made with the hard blood and sweat by these talented filmmakers.
Yes, right.
There is a, if this is the situation of the feature film category, you can imagine what is
Yeah.
the
What
situation of
happened with
non-feature film
feature,
category.
yes,
And
yeah.
documentaries are further under stress.
Yes.
Tell me any of media coverage is given to a good documentary cinema.
No, no, no.
Nothing is there. So I think you people will have to take the responsibility to make people aware that here is the cinema you must watch. Of course, this is a part of effort. As Jaya said and Sir has said, that there are many ways, but we all have to contribute our little might and make this country more with the cinema watching culture.
Yeah.
So just to cut short in one, even if we force the government to do it, nothing is going to happen. Only the media, they can do it. You can promote these films, and you are the people whom we can trust and do it.
Yes.
Government can give the theatre, but the public will not come to the theatre even if you show them free. So your way of projecting the things, that's the right way. So please help the good filmmakers to come out with good films, and your responsibility is that. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Sharma sir, I have a question for you.
Yes.
As far as Konkani films are concerned, hardly every year, hardly one film, Konkani films get selected for Indian Panorama. Don't you think Konkani films should get encouragement? Because other films like Bengali, Kannada, Malayalam, 10 films are selected. And as far as Konkani is concerned, hardly one film is selected.
Yeah. Let me. Let me.
What could be the
let me-
reason? I just want to know the reason
yeah,
from you, sir.
Yes. In the selection of Indian Panorama is not region-wise or language-wise. There are two. I mean, India government is organizing two festivals. One is National Words, and another is Indian Panorama. Indian Panorama actually, it is selected on quality basis, which can represent India. And we are thinking, I mean, the main basis of selection, the main criteria for selection is quality. And so sometimes it may be 8 from the from Bengali or from Malayali or 10 from Malayali. It may happen sometimes. But, you know, we are encouraged very much this year because we are many films are coming from those areas which we never expected. And so it is increasing. And sorry, because you know the numbers. Please don't compare numbers of these. It depends on the production quality. And another thing about the popular cinema. I think sir asked me about the popular cinema. Perhaps, please think about this. I'm throwing this to you. Why can't we have two festivals? One for the popular cinema. Let it be. And another, the so-called meaningful or parallel cinema. Can we have it? I mean, I am throwing this idea to you, to the media people. Please think about this. Because, sorry, in representing India in the international film festivals, even in the opening ceremony, we have seen, the influence. I don't want to comment much on that, but I must say, our sort of taste, I think it is not in a good way. I think it is not in the right direction, if you excuse me, because because when we show the history of Indian cinema, perhaps Bollywood is not the only creator of Indian cinema. It is not. In Calcutta, many films were made, but it was not included in the history which was shown in that very unfortunately yesterday even. It was not. I don't know whether our respected people from media, they have they noted it or not. This is something which pains us. We're seriously trying to make I mean, to represent India, this diversity and having different, I mean, in Kolkata or from the south, so many filmmakers and. But we are giving all importance to Bollywood only. I'm not against Bollywood. Let it be entertainment. Yes, there must be, but that doesn't mean. And then we can have a separate two festivals. Why don't we run that for entertainment only? Why can't we do that? Please answer me. I mean, I'm throwing this question to you. Please give your ideas about this. India government can do that. They have got enough money for popular cinema.
Sir,
And
sir, just one last question from the social media, because we have been running it live on the social media.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, all. I'm Rajit Chandran from Press Information Bureau. We have one question from Twitter asked by Mr. Hemandanand Sant. His question is, how was the Marathi musical Katyar Kalijat Gusli received by the jury?
Yeah.
It was well
He's-
received, that's
he's
why
a
it is there.
magician, sir.
Actually,
He was
I began my career as a music director, and I have given music in many Manipuri films. And I passed out from Vishwaharati Shantiniketan in music and philosophy, and I had a very great respect for Indian classical music, and I passed out graduate from Lucknow in classical music also. And it is a great film, I must say. It is a wonderful film. And this type of film, I don't know how public will receive it, because the appreciation, it is necessary. Classical music is becoming, I don't know why it is not happening in India. Classical music, it should have its own channel. But it is not happening in India. The type of dance and the type of music we are hearing, I'm not against it, mind you. But there should be another channel for this also. So it was beautiful. It was great experience for us to make a film like that.
By the way, for your information, sir, film is doing extremely well commercially in Maharashtra. And
Oh,
also,
we are very happy. We are very
yeah,
happy. We are
and
very
also for your information, there is a new channel dedicated to classical music called InSync. Is already in vogue for last 1.5 year.
from Delhi or what?
From
National.
Mumbai. From Mumbai.
National.
Yes, national. It is available on all DTH and all platforms.
Achha.
It will be available soon on Tata Sky also. And entire channel is dedicated for Indian classical music only.
And we hope for this non-feature film also.
Yeah.
If we could have this channel for non-feature, that will be wonderful. We are crying for
Yes.
Actually, I am non-feature filmmaker. I received Dr. B. Shantaram Lifetime Achievement Award. I made many non-feature films. Not only feature, both. I was working in both. And we are crying for this. Actually, filmmakers of non-feature film. These non-feature films are never recognized as films in India.
Yeah.
That is the unfortunate part of that. You please, I mean, these non-feature films are actually, it seems it is not film at all. Then what to do about this?
I have one humble
And
request.
this I'm talking about non-feature films, you know, and it is not never given a chance for telecast in Indian national channels. Though we are getting, you know, these national award-winning films, Indian Panorama films, many lakhs of rupees, and which is very good, and which is the encouragement is wonderful. But it should be done in case of non-feature film also. Please, make an appeal for this.
Acha,
Thank
I have one appeal. I just have one appeal that yesterday the dance performances, whatever they were, they're very beautiful. But I was, looking forward to having some of our folk music or folk dance, which would have really impressed the foreign, delegates. Because I was a jury in Armenia and I saw some fantastic 20, dance forms of Russian Cossack to till the Armenian dance. And it was so interesting that the whole, every delegate, there were 1,000 members and we were just awestruck. But yes, yesterday I was, hoping that we will do that. But I hope you can write about it and next year we do that. please, you know.
Not creativity.
Thank you.
We'll
Not
wind
creativity energy. Anything.
Why don't you come
Yeah.
come here, Mr. Ladakhi? Why don't you come here? It just. Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Come.
It's not only that. You need to reach to us because there are the mails. There are you have to communicate to us that you are making a film. How come we will know? They are reaching us. They have see, monetary is always not the factor that you cannot spend a lot of money towards the publicity. But to get the publicity,
Non-feature
Feature film. But overall, I'll give you a very difficult thing.
that's
Yeah.
also the
Now, I'd just quickly like to introduce Mr. Ladakhi. He's from Ladakh, and in the feature film category, he was a member of the jury.
I would like to share only one, my own point of view. Life is dynamic. You can never change. In life, everything is changing. My body and my mind is changing constantly, you know. So as a jury member this time, what I learned, what I experienced was, the films are very good as it is. And what I learned is that you should accept things as it is, not as you want it to be. Like if I want right now better journalist, that's I'm stupid. This journalist is the best for me today. And this is the best people giving you information, you know. So I thought everything was wonderful in life. Everything, every film was good, every film had an effort. So I looked at, as a jury member, I learned this, that to look at films as it is, not as you want it to be like that. So my experience as a jury was that, and I have an appeal to the people who call making film in the name of culture. India needs to make film on wisdom. That is our Sanatan wisdom, you know. फिल्म जिसमें ज्ञान हो, फिल्म रिएक्टिव फिल्म कोई भी बनाता है, इन्होंने मुझे एक थप्पड़ मारा, मैंने मुक्का मारा, कंटिन्यूटी चलता रहता है. बट हाउ टू स्टॉप दिस? सो मेरा एक अपील है एज ए फिल्म जूरी, एज ए लद्दाखी, एज ए फिल्म मेकर फॉर FTI है, that let's all hope the future generation will make film which is related to wisdom. We need wisdom. Anybody is making film. दुनिया में घटना घटते रहता है. क्या इसी कमरे में घटना हो रहा है? अभी हज़ारों फिल्म फीचर अभी इस वक्त हो रहा होगा हिंदुस्तान में, दुनिया में घटना घट रहा होगा, कुछ ना कुछ हो रहा होगा ना. Everything is not important, but wisdom is important. So I would like all of us to make film on wisdom.
Yeah.
My appeal, make film
So
on wisdom.
with
based.
this, I'd like to just wind up the press conference and thank my guests, because we already have the guests for the next press conference.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all of you so much for
Thank you.
giving us our